This is the Barbecue Central Show Archives. The Barbecue Central Show airs live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and is brought to you by the BBQ Guru, makers of automatic temperature control devices, and a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Visit them online at thebbqguru.com or call them 800-288-GURU. And by Big Poppa Smokers, creators of fabulous rubs, online retailer of grills, accessories, apparel, and creators of their own barbecue contests. Visit them online at bigpoppasmokers.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, creators of injections and rubs, sweeping the nation, doing well in competitions and in the backyard. You can visit them at butcherbbq.com. And by Stephen DiFranco Jewelers, official jeweler of the Barbecue Central Show. Call 440-943-2700 and use key term Barbecue Brother when you talk to Steve, or visit them online at StephenDiFranco.com. And by Green Mountain Grills, one of the best pellet grills you can get on the market today, varying sizes, not only for your capacity of cooking, but for your budget as well. Visit greenmountaingrills.com for more information. And by El Diablo Mustard. Looking for a little bit of heat and flavor in regular old yellow mustard? El Diablo has you covered. 6 different flavors to choose from currently, and you can find them at eldiablomustard.com. And by CookinPellets.com. Have a pellet-driven cooker? Why not try out some of the best pellets on the market and will not void any of your warranties, by the way? CookinPellets.com is the website. And by Cookshack, a premier manufacturer of electric and pellet-driven cookers, giving barbecue classes located in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Always running some kind of a special deal. Check them out at Cookshack.com.
This is Jim Minion from Two Loose Screws. I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. It is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, more than happy to have you. A couple of different ways you can do it. It's a telephone call, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are the 2 bits of contact information. Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, which is thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening. Coming up in about 13 minutes from now, I've been teasing it for weeks. A former NFL, I would venture to say great, got into the food business, and we'll see exactly how that transpired over the course of his NFL career and post-career. Reggie Kelly will be joining us from Kyvan Foods. And then, because we had a what was tantamount to a hellacious internet meltdown about 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the show last week that lasted for about 15 or 20 minutes, we reloaded one of the most prolific pitmasters on the competition circuit today, both in industry and in cooking. Sterling Ball from Big Poppa Smokers will be joining us as well. But notwithstanding any of that, few folks make what is full circle. Find the show somehow, become a loyal listening fan, get out on the competition circuit, then win or finish well enough to actually make it on the show as a guest via the Skype or the radio or telephone, whatever, and then, and only then, make the audacious trip down to Bentonville, Arkansas for the finals, which will take place this coming weekend. The pitmaster of the Basic BBQ Team. In studio for the whole show, Patrick Paquette joining us here on the show. Patrick, how are you?
I am well, Greg. I'm out of the car, so I am very happy.
Yeah, right. All right. Let me get you straightened out here. You make guesses, and then hope you're right. All right. Now, look at this guy. Proud Patriots fan, I see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're in Brownstown, baby.
I'm grateful to the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, so are the... who the hell did we lose to this past weekend? Oh, so are the Baltimore Ravens. They're grateful for the Cleveland Browns. So are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Grateful for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm just grateful that you gave us a coach.
That's not funny at all. Patrick, let me thank you first and foremost for the New England Barbecue Society hat. Gifts come a bear. And you're on your way to Bentonville, Arkansas.
We are. I literally got here, 3 minutes ago?
Yeah, like out of the car and back sitting again, but at least not on the road.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so what's your journey looking like? Where did you leave from? Obviously, you're going to Bentonville, and give us a quick synopsis of mileage and calculated time and so forth.
I live in Hyannis, Massachusetts, so I live on Cape Cod, and we departed from the house at about 9:05 this morning. Oof. And besides gasoline stops, we came straight here. Like, it's from 9:05 to 5 minutes ago. And it was just a drive. It was a drive. We were grateful enough. We usually go to competitions in a very old 20-year-old motorhome pulling a trailer. And it's rickety, and it's we didn't want to take it on this drive. Plus, it would be like $2,500 in fuel. So we borrowed a truck from our nephew, and it's cool and awesome. And we got a nice F-250 pulling our trailer, and it was relatively smooth. It was unusual because I'm used to sitting up in the motorhome up with the truckers, and now it's just a pickup truck, so it's a little bit different for this ride.
All right, so Basic Patrick is joining us here for the entire show. We'll be sitting in, asking pointed questions should he see fit. If you have anything that you would like to share via email or instant chat or what have you, drop them on along. Again, the email address, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. The phone number, 216-220-0966. And, of course, you can follow through on the instant chat if you are watching the show. By the way, as I ask you each and every week, please feel free to send out some type of a social media post, whether it be through Facebook or Twitter or whatever else you're using. Nerds love the Reddit type stuff. A couple different links to send them to. The main website, of course, thebbqcentralshow.com. That has the audio feed. You can go to outdoorcookingchannel.com. if you would like to watch the video feed. If you have Internet Protocol television, I have it upstairs. Roku, also Rabbit TV, just to point out a few type of IP televisions. You can get the Outdoor Cooking Channel on there as well. And all you have to do is go to that particular app store for that particular place. And I got to turn the sound off or it's going to absolutely kill me while we're doing the show. Download it through the App Store, Outdoor Cooking Channel, and then there is an option for live feed. Click on that, and you can just watch the show right from the glorious luxuriousness of a couch and a high-definition television that you have on your wall. It's just like watching the show like on regular television. Patrick, how long have you been listening to the show?
I think since 2010.
Wow, 4 years.
I believe it's at least 4 years. It might have been 2009, but
how do you even find it? What mistake did you make to find the show?
Geez, how did I find it? I honestly don't remember. I'm sure it was through the internet and Google, and I may have actually been a guest. You may have had somebody like Steve Farron or somebody from New England on, and I may have listened.
Aha. Now that makes sense to me because there was, what year was it?
It was after the I Smell Smoke Pellet Envy. It was after that whole that exciting Team of the Year race. It was after that, but there was something that had me stumble across it. It was probably New England based, and then I found it and it was cool and it fit my schedule. Tuesday nights is a great window for me, and then you get into once you get into the chat room, you're hooked. It's
because it's like the show within the show, right?
Yeah, and it is a community, and very much like the website communities. You meet some people. I've met now, 4 or 5 people out of the chat room, and this weekend I get to meet Diane Me after years, and that's going to be we're very excited to do that.
Is there going to be some type of formalized Barbecue Central show, Centralite meetup that you're aware of?
Well, we've got David Qualls, Diane Me, myself, who are like weekly regulars in the chat room, plus Bob Trudnak is going to be there. A new member in the chat room, Mark Gibbs from Checkered Flag 500. So there's at least 5 people who regularly are in the chat room these days, and some of us for quite some time. So I'd imagine I do always fly the Barbecue Central banner in our cook site. So I'm hoping that we can get a picture of all of us at the Sam's Club Finals with the banner.
That would be absolutely fabulous. Patrick, are you a fan of the sound drops, yes or no?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, well, suck it for the people that don't like it. That's what I got to say to you. All right, so Patrick will be sitting in for the balance of the show tonight. He was actually dropped off by teammate and wife, Wendy Paquette. And then who else was in the car? Somebody you picked up on the highway or what?
Ellie is Wendy's niece, Ellie, and she came. We cooked Mohegan Sun, and she wanted to come along, and we brought her. And they had a mystery ingredient ancillary contest, and when you turned in your chicken wings, which there was 2 ancillaries, and you turned in your chicken wings, they gave you a box of whatever the mystery ingredient was, and the mystery ingredient was fiddlehead ferns, which I had no idea what they were.
No.
And they came back with this box, and it's a northern New England thing. And they came back with this box, and they went, "What is it?" And I was raw edamame was my guess. But Ellie knew what it was, and she had gone to culinary school years ago, and they cooked into second place for a pretty decent check. And she was hooked. She had, within a month, she had bought a small Cookshack smoker and had it sent to her house on Nantucket.
Really?
And she has now cooked. They did a New England. Wendy and Ellie have now cooked the Harpoon. They basically ran our grilling program at the Harpoon on the New England Barbecue Society grilling contest side of the Harpoon weekend. They also cooked at Harvard, Mass. last weekend, and they've gotten calls every time that they've been grilling. Ellie is probably the reason that we ended up as New England Barbecue Society in the grilling team of the year race, is 5th overall. So Ellie's now a member of the team. She's not like a part-time. She's a member of the team now.
Full-time member of the team. Wow.
I'm hoping we get her more and more because she's awesome, and it's that third hand is important, and she's a lifesaver. Besides the fact that it's her son who lent us the truck for this weekend, she is going to because we don't have a motorhome, because this is a hotel trip. There's that little bit of, I'm used to taking a shower in the morning, turn in the morning, and, you do your stuff. And to have that third person to be able to sort of watch the cookers, and actually she'll fire up the second cooker while I run back to the hotel for a quick shower. She's a lifesaver. So she was the other one in the truck today.
All right, perfect. Well, we are off and running here on the show. Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team is in for the entire show here. Stand by for him. Folks, coming up out of the break, Reggie Kelly. We're going to be talking about Kyvan Foods. Public service announcement from my barbecue brother to all the barbecue brothers and sisters. Steve DiFranco from Steve and DiFranco Jewelers, a barbecue junkie, self-pronounced, self-admitted. Number of different holidays are going to be coming up here over the next few months. Forget about clothes, forget about shoes, forget about ties for dad, all that crap. How about a nice watch? Steve has an incredible selection of watches that would be perfect for dear old dad or moderately young-looking mom. Bulova watches. Why spend a ton of money on a watch if you don't have to? Bulova watches are stylish, affordable, starting under $200. You have a Precisionist line of watches. The most accurate watch in the world, the Precisionist, is just that watch, exclusive movements. So the Bulova Precisionist break down the second-hand movements into 16 segments per second, giving that second hand a smooth moving appearance. Of course, you have the Accutron line, that pinnacle of high design without breaking the bank. They start below $600. And of course, that cottage watchmaker over on the west part of Cleveland, it's Philip and Company. A lot of these high-end watches are made with ETA movement, and Philip uses those swift movements called ETAs. Philip hand assembles these watches personally using ETA movements, hand-picked components. starting at just about $900. Philips watches are not only elegant in European style, but they are affordable when compared to some of those other high-end European watches. All the Philips watches are serial numbered, registered with Philips himself. So here's what you do. You go to the website, StephenDiFranco.com. You pick out what you like, then you call him directly, 440-943-2700. You tell him you're a barbecue brother or sister. Tell him what you found on the website. Tell him what you like. He's going to give you the real price over the phone. Not allowed by manufacturers to show the real price on the website. This is not a gimmick. John Marcus, executive producer of Barbecue Pitmasters, has shopped with Steve DiFranco personally. He can vouch for it. This is the guy that I buy all of my jewelry from, for the wife, for me, whatever. StephenDiFranco.com. That's StephenDiFranco.com, 440-943-2700. Ask for Steve directly. You'll be happy that you did. All right, we're coming up with Reggie Kelly right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by the Sam's Club Barbecue Tour. 31 cities, $500 in cash to be won. Eternal bragging rights if you win the whole damn thing. The next Sam's event will be this weekend, September 27th. It is the national finals that will decide who is the best of the best in the Sam's Club National Barbecue Series. Who will it be? You have a 1 in 50 chance of being correct with that guess. Thanks so much to Sam's Club for being a sponsor of the show this season. It has been absolutely fun and fantastic. To keep up with the final leg of the tour, visit kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. Once again, Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team in the house. My first guest tonight had a 12-year career as a tight end in the NFL from 1999 to 2011, playing both for the Atlanta Falcons and Cincinnati Bengals. Tonight, we talk about his other passion, maybe a little football. His Kyvan Foods product line to include barbecue sauces, other specialty sauces, salsas, rubs, seasonings, and one of my dear favorites, apple butter to boot. So let's race over to the hotline and welcome first-timer to the show, Reggie Kelly, joining us. Reggie, how are you, buddy?
Greg, how you doing, man? I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Reggie, appreciate you making time for the show tonight. Where are we finding you? Home based out of Atlanta? Are you still up in the Ohio area? Where are you at?
Yeah, we're back home. I'm down south. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but I also, back and forth to Mississippi. Obviously I was born and raised in Mississippi. I have a lot of family there, a lot of, close ties in Mississippi. My wife and I were high school sweethearts. So it's a must that we get back to Mississippi as much as we can, and also let our kids, get and see their roots as well.
Reggie, let me ask you, as far as background in food, is that something that was like a big part of your family growing up? Friends, family, always something going around in the kitchen or outside on the grill, or is this a passion that you found a little bit later in life?
No, man, this has always been a passion in my family. I grew up around a family of cooks, not a family of chefs, but just cooks. Everybody can cook, and everybody claims that they are the best cook in my family, but obviously I am the best.
Right.
Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. I can say that since I'm doing this radio interview.
That's right.
But I grew up in that type of a setting. We'll make any excuse, my family and I will make any excuse to get together and cook. And normally that cooking involves some type of barbecuing, some type of great sides. It also involves some type of sporting event, be it football or basketball or baseball. I think the two just go hand in hand. Sports plus food is equals so much fun. So I've been fortunate enough to play in the NFL, and I'm fortunate enough to start my own food business. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Reggie Kelly is my guest. A couple of different places to check him out. Kyvan, Kyvan, the numerals 82.com is the website, at Kyvan82 on the Twitter. Reggie, you have a unique product business name. Is it Kyvan or Kyvan? I don't want to mispronounce it.
Yes, it's Kyvan. And basically, I combine my kids' names. My daughter's name is Kyla. My son's name is Kyvan. I combine the two to come up with Kyvan. And so, since my kids' names are on these products and on the label, I want to make sure that these products are full of flavor, full of quality, and just like my kids, very unique. So I wanted to make sure that I represented my family to the fullest.
Is the Kyvan brand or business something that you were kind of tossing around, messing around with during your time in the NFL, or is this something that is really a post-NFL type situation for you?
Well, this business really wasn't intentional by any stretch of the imagination. I enjoy giving back to the community during the holiday seasons, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. My wife and I, we give turkeys and hams to the elderly in my hometown. And then another passion of mine is giving back to the kids. And so on a couple of occasions, my wife and I, we threw free football camps for the kids back home in my hometown of Aberdeen, Mississippi. We gave them free NFL gear, great football camps, and I also invited my teammates and peers from all over the country to come out and just reward the kids who've exemplified some type of academic excellence. But after the football camps, Greg, in true Southern tradition, my family cooked for all the volunteers and cooked for all my teammates, and they couldn't stop raving about how good the food was. I mean, they kept raving so much that I said, man, if people really like this down south cooking so much, we might as well do something with it. And so we gathered our family secrets, which was pretty easy to do. And I pitched the idea to retailers like Walmart and so many other fine retailers that carry our products, and the rest is history. So it really wasn't anything intentional. It started based off me giving back to the community. And because of me giving back, it seems like the community gave back to me.
Reggie Kelly is my guest. Reggie, it seems that the more I talk to folks that have gotten into a sauce business or a rub business or something along that specialty line, especially the successful ones, that there were flagship products that got them off the ground, and then over time they added additional items as they saw fit to kind of diversify their products offering portfolio. Did Kyvan start with its own flagship or anchor products and then kind of grow out as it has today, or did you offer everything that you do today right at the beginning?
No, it actually started with our salsa. That's our foundation, our hot and mild honey apple salsa. And I know that sounds like a strange combination, but it's actually a great product. No artificial anything in that. We add a little bit of honey with some apples to give you a nice sweetness, and some cilantro and peppers to balance things out. That was our startup product. That product has really given us, has really set the tone for Kyvan Foods. And that was the actual product that I took to Walmart during my first meeting with them, and they fell in love with it. And then that's when they were interested in some of our other products. And now we're selling about 8 products on the market right now. But hands down, when most people think of Kyvan Foods, the first product that comes to mind is our honey apple salsa. It's definitely a staple for our brand.
You sent me the salsa, the barbecue sauce, and the apple butter. And I'm a huge fan of it. I don't think it's kind of like pizza for me. I don't think I've met an apple butter that I haven't absolutely adored and loved on, especially toast or muffins or what have you. It was phenomenal. The barbecue sauce we could talk about a little bit. I don't want to say I was scared of apple salsa, but you read the label as you pointed out, and you're like, I don't know about that. So we had a party. Some of our friends were over, people we like to carouse with on the weekends. And I said, hey, this NFL dude just sent me this stuff to test out. Let's break out this salsa and let's go around the room and see what that stuff was gone literally in 10 minutes. It was absolutely insanely good.
Well, that's the type of reviews and that's the type of feeling that we're trying to get from all of our fans and from all of our customers. Normally when people go out and purchase our product at retail stores, I always tell them, make sure you get more than one jar. Because I would hate for you to actually have to waste gas to go right back up to the grocery store once you devoured the first jar in 15 to 20 minutes. Because it is that good. And that was our plan. That was our purpose. And, Greg, it makes me feel really good inside when I know that people all over the country are enjoying my family recipes. Because that's what it's all about. When I was a little boy, my grandmother, she stayed right next door to me. And so she was pretty much like my mother. She took good care of us when my parents were at work. my grandma used to always cook great meals. You mean breakfast, lunch, dinner, and desserts. And she always told me, she was like, Reggie, baby, when you cook, make sure you do it with love. Make sure you cook in such a way where first-time visitors will feel at home, so they will feel a part of the Kelly family. And I remember my grandmother telling me that when I was a little boy. And then when I brought our food line, our family recipes to the market, I wanted people to feel exactly the way I've been feeling all of my life. I wanted them to feel love, and I wanted their souls to be stirred. So that's the reason why we call the brand Kyvan Soul Food Selections.
That website, again, Kyvan82.com, if you want to check it out, order up some products as well. Maybe you're lucky enough to be around a retailer. So let me back out just for a second here, if I could, Reggie, because there's a lot of people here in the barbecue industry that, might be like yourself to a certain degree. Maybe they've crafted a sauce or a rub or some other type of a product that everybody just raves about. And you have to take this to market, get it out there, it'll sell like hotcakes. When do you decide to give the business a legit shot? Like, what year was that? And what do you think some of the most important first steps that you took or advice that you would give anybody to get this thing off the ground?
Well, it's actually a long, strenuous process, from getting the recipes and then taking the recipes to the manufacturer and getting it formulated to where the product is FDA approved. It's shelf stable for 6 to 12 months, which is something very important to retailers. And it is a long, strenuous process. There's so many steps that you have to take to get the product from the table, from your kitchen table, to the actual retail stores and the actual retail shelves. And it did take us a long time. It took us about 5 to 7 years of doing our due diligence, dotting every I, crossing every T before we actually had the opportunity to finally present the product to manufacturers. But once you get at that level and once you get at that state, and pretty much the rest, the rest is history. From that point, once you get it on the shelf, then you actually have to make sure that you get the product sold. And normally, a lot of people that have really good barbecue sauces and are known in their communities for having a really good barbecue sauce, they have a really good fan base already. So once the product goes into a retail store, it is going to sell like hotcakes. But it's step-by-step process that you have to go through. And it is tough. Don't get me wrong, the food industry is tough because I've gone great to a lot of retailers, and they tell me the same thing. They say, well, everybody has a barbecue sauce. Everybody says that barbecue sauce is the best. But you need to let us know how is this barbecue sauce going to sell and make not only you money, but also make the retailer money. And so you have to make sure that you factor all of those things in, because if you don't, and if you're not willing to do the little things right, then your business is not going to succeed. And that's one thing I learned on the football field and in this industry. If you do the little things right, the big things will follow.
Let me ask you to just expand on that a little bit more, because you bring up a unique point, one that I've made time and time again here as I've done the show, and I've really seen a proliferation of barbecue sauces hit the market, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. You go into any grocery store now, you have roughly 5 or 10 million to choose from. You can go into specialty barbecue sauce stores that have even more than that. So when they ask you, how do you differentiate, or how are you going to make us money aside from yourself, what kind of details are you telling them that separate a Reggie Kelly barbecue sauce from one of the really thousands that are existing out there?
Well, the first thing you have to do, you have to have a really good sales pitch. And it has to be a sales pitch that not only they will believe, but that you believe yourself. Most of these buyers are not just listening. They've heard stories from thousands and thousands of people trying to get their product in their stores. But they want stories that's going to be believable. They want to have a sales pitch that's going to resonate with their customers. And not only that, they want to have a great strategy. They want to see something as far as a great marketing plan. A great presentation to where they can see it. They can see these are the steps that you're going to take as a vendor, as a supplier. And by you taking these steps, this is going to help ensure that the product is going to sell. A lot of them, they like to have numbers too in front of them to see, your product selling so many thousands of units before they'll take a shot at you. But primarily, for the most part, me doing business for this short period of time that I've done it, whenever I've done, interviews, or whenever I've met say for instance, buyers from a Walmart, they always say the same thing. Give me a good sales pitch. Let me know why I should take advantage of this opportunity, or if it will be an opportunity for me. And what I always tell them, I give them, like I just told you guys, how the story began. With my family, loving to cook. I started out in the community. I'm big in the community. And because of the community, I was able to get this product and bring it to market. And I believe that one taste, you will appreciate the goodness. Normally when I say something like that, that normally resonates with the buyers. And everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own story of how their product began and how this idea began. But it has to be very believable, and it has to touch their hearts.
Reggie Kelly is my guest, talking about his food product line here on the show. Reggie, does being Reggie Kelly give you any advantage from Jump Street on this type of a thing where, if these were my recipes, I guess maybe this is a better way to ask it, would I have the same opportunities to get this out and be as successful as you are with them currently if I was not you and having the NFL career behind me? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that say, oh, Reggie Kelly played in the NFL, blah, 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 and I'm just some schmuck on the street.
Sure it does. Sure, without a shadow of a doubt, and I'd be naive if I didn't mention that. Because I played in the NFL, sure, it does give me an edge. People are willing to listen to me. But I will say this. I've gone to a few hundred meetings with some of these retailers, some of these general managers and presidents and so forth, and they all say the same thing. They say a lot of athletes, come into this business and they just try to make money based off of their name.
Yep.
They try to put their product on the shelf just based off of their name. And the product may not be a good product. They may not stand behind the product. They may not have a good marketing plan. So 9 times out of 10, within 2 to 3 years, it's going to fail. And so most of the retailers I've dealt with, though I do have an edge and they're willing to listen to me, a lot of them are very skeptical. A lot of them have expressed to me that they do not like doing business with athletes because of that point I just mentioned. They feel like athletes feel like we have it made so we can just present a product to them, and because of our name, it's supposed to sell. And that has proven to be a very bad equation. That's proven to be a very bad formula. I've learned in this business, it doesn't matter how big your name is as an athlete, you're still going to have to do your due diligence. You're still going to have to market the product correctly. You're still going to have the right people to go in and make sure that the product is sold. And if you don't, you are going to be a failure. One thing that I would tell people that are not athletes or who do not have a celebrity name is that you're going to have to grind. I mean, if it's something that you believe in, you're going to have to call people, even if it means you have to call them hundreds of times before they finally answer you. You need to do that because eventually they will get tired of you calling, tired of you leaving messages, and then that's your opportunity to really give a great sales pitch. And I've seen it happen. There have been people who have come to me and have asked favors of me and wanted me to join ventures with them and so forth and so forth. And they called and called and called. Not sure how they got my number, but they've called and called. And because they've called so much, I say, well, you know what? They're very persistent. If they're that persistent with just talking to me over the phone, I believe that they would show that same type of persistence when they actually get their product on the market. And so persistence is the key. If you don't have a marquee name, you can never replace hard work and you can never replace persistence.
Reggie Kelly joining me here on the show. Kyvan82.com is the website if you want to check it out here while we're talking. At Kyvan82 on the Twitter if you want to follow him on Twitter, see what he's up to in the social media. How big of a deal has social media been for you and for the company, Reggie?
Oh, it's tremendous because it's free advertising. I mean, free. If it's free, it's me. Trust me.
Hey, that's my saying. What are you doing? That's my line. That's rule number 2 of the show. If it's free, it's me.
Well, they say great minds think alike.
That's right, Rich.
There you have it, my friend. Great minds think alike. And
Talk the truth.
Anytime you have an opportunity to take advantage of something free and still get maximum results from it, then you need to take advantage of it. We live in a digital society right now. Traditional forms of marketing are becoming obsolete, like newspapers and things of that nature. More people are being able to connect a little bit more with digital marketing, social media. That's just the edge that you have, and so I love taking advantage of it. And I have a really good marketing company that does a great job of posting very relevant stuff that's entertaining, stuff that captures the eye, and is working well for us. So any company, any startup company especially, if you need to save dollars as far as on marketing, social media is definitely the route to go.
You know, Reggie, the products are doing very well. You have a number of them in the line right now. I always hate in job interviews, people ask you, where do you see yourself 3, 4, 5 years from now? But as far as your company is concerned and the products that you have, are you content with the line of products that you have now? Would you like to add? And where would you ultimately like to see Kyvan Foods in the future?
Well, from the beginning, it's always been my goal to be a national, international brand, not just a regional brand. Right now, our products are primarily sold in the Southeast. We're sold in every store in the Southeast, well, every state in the Southeast, and also some northern states. And so it's my goal to continue to expand the brand until we become a household name. And we have, right now we have on the market about 12 products, but there are 30 total products in the pipeline. And to be quite honest with you, we could get tons and tons more of our family recipes. But this is something that I'm passionate about. I love the game of football. I love food, and I'm just doing what I love to do. And I believe when you do what you love to do, it's really not work at all. It's fun, and so it's a lot of hard work. But I believe that my dreams will become a reality. I'm a blue collar type of a person, Greg. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to work extremely hard for everything that I've accomplished in life. I had to work extremely hard, to make it to Mississippi State. And then to stay in the NFL for 13 years, I was what they call a garbage man. I did all the dirty work, a lot of the jobs that a lot of the prima donnas didn't want to do on the football field. I was the guy that the coaches turned to do that. So I don't mind putting on my steel-toe boots and my hard hat and going to work to build the foundation, this food line. I know it's going to take for a lot of hard work, and I'm willing to do that, Greg. That's the reason why, I don't have like a company behind me, investors and all of that thing. This is my wife and I company. We started from the ground up. This is our family business, and we're going to keep it a family business until one day I can pass it along to my kids. And so, because my kids are my motivation, I want to make sure that I have a company that's full of integrity, that does things the right way, and project the right image.
Reggie Kelly joining me here on the show, talking about Kyvan Foods. It's got the salsas, the rubs, the spices, specialty sauces, all that good stuff. Reggie, before I let you go, and I didn't want to leverage the conversation to turn it into football, which I know you're passionate about because I really wanted to have you on. This is a food show, first and foremost, for crying out loud. It's Barbecue Central show. But let me ask you something. I live in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. And since 1999, it should come as no surprise to a former Cincinnati Bengal. It has been murderous out here to be a Browns fan. To watch last week them piss away a fourth quarter where they couldn't stay on the field for longer than 40 seconds, the last two possessions, and muster even a first down to save the game. What is your take on the new look Browns? Do you even have a take? But if you do, what is your take on the new look Browns this time, version 78, since we've been back in 99?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I have no pity. And if I did, all of my old Cincinnati Bengal teammates and Coach Lewis would say, "Shame on you, Reggie," and I would not be welcome back to the city of Cincinnati. But
well
here,
played.
let me say this about Cleveland.
Yep.
You guys have tons of talent. That's been proven. The thing that you have to do in the NFL is you have to start fast, and it's a must that you finish strong. For the last 3 games, the team has been playing fast, has been starting the game fast, but at the end of the game, they're not finished. And something has to be done where they have that killer mentality to where when they're up, and when they have the game at hand, they need to put their foot, and this is my thought, they need to put their foot on their opponent's throat and make sure that they don't grasp any air. And I think that's the difference between a Cincinnati Bengals or perhaps an Atlanta Falcons or a Seattle Seahawks. Those guys, I can tell just by watching these teams that they start fast, but they know how to finish strong. I say maybe a few more games underneath their belt. I think Cleveland's going to be just fine, to be honest with you.
All right.
They have a really good coach, really great player, especially a really great young tight end that I'm very impressed with. I think you guys can really make a run at this thing and turn this thing around. On these close games that you're losing right now, 1 or 2 plays here and there can easily be 3-0 instead of 1 and 2.
Reggie Kelly breaking it all down, food and NFL related. Really appreciate the time tonight, Reggie. Let's do it again.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it, man. Continue to do your thing. And remember this. Food day, baby. Food day.
It ain't us, I can tell you that. Take care, Reggie. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
There he is, Reggie Kelly. Kyvan82.com is the website. And on the Twitter at Kyvan82. You on the Twitter, Patrick?
I am, but very rarely.
Are you a follower versus a poster?
Yes, more of a follower, yes. And I actually use it for some work things, but not necessarily socially. I use it as a marketing tool for work.
Got it. All right. Well, let's talk quickly about Big Poppa Smokers, and then we will review Reggie Kelly. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
All right. Look, if you don't know about Big Poppa Smokers, let me tell you, it's the one-stop shop for anyone interested in barbecue, featuring a comprehensive selection of all-American made grills, spices, sauces, accessories, even a kit that gives you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Poppa Smokers has made a name for itself by making an award-winning line of championship rubs. Their rubs have won almost every major competition barbecue event, including the 2012 and 13 World Series of Barbecue in Kansas City, 2012 Jack Daniels Invitation, 2013 Kingsford Challenge, and 2014 Houston Livestock and Rodeo. Many more to come, like perhaps this coming weekend in Bentonville. Who knows? Big Poppa's has also banded together with a fellow California-based barbecue rub company, Simply Marvelous Barbecue, to form what's now known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these two California-based rub makers have cornered the market on competitive barbecue and begun to redefine the flavor profiles that competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. They've also created a couple unique competitions. King of the Smoker, which brings the best of the best in barbecue in a head-to-head back-to-basics competition. King of the Smokers is unique in the fact, of course, that you're not allowed to use any electric device, such as a pellet cooker or a pit minder. Contestants are just allowed to use charcoal, wood, and their wits to win one of the most high-stakes barbecue competitions out there during the course of the year. Also, they have the Guinea Pig, which is a cost-controlled competition that helps bring in newcomers to competitive barbecue. It's also featuring a prize distribution all the way down to 10th place in each category. That, of course, helps provide incentive to get new teams into the world of competition barbecue. On top of all that, BPS created a unique brand ambassador program, the Big Poppa Smokers Elite Team, featuring 15 of the best competition teams in the country working together to promote camaraderie, competition barbecue, and most importantly, to benefit children's charities across the U.S. Keep in mind, Big Poppa Smokers has been able to do this within 4 years of being in business, turning the competition barbecue world on its head, creating their own unique competitions, becoming a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, and benefiting children's charities across the country. Just the beginning for Big Poppa Smokers, and appreciate their support of the show. BigPoppaSmokers.com, the website. Sterling Ball will be in the second hour. All right, we're back to talk with Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. I would like to point out that this portion of the show is brought to you by CookinPellets.com. No G on the end, CookinPellets.com. Premier manufacturer of pellets if you have a pellet-driven cooker. Never fear, like you Traeger bitches. Oh, I can't use any other pellet than Traeger pellets. It'll void the warranty. Lies. Cookin Pellets will not void any warranty. Just relax. Go there, check them out, CookinPellets.com. Thank you, Chris Becker. Hook my ass up with the quickness with 40 pounds of all hickory pellets this past weekend for barbecue that I did around the house. Thank goodness. You have pellet cookers, right, Patrick?
Absolutely.
It's only pellet cooker for you, right? Fast Eddie's?
I have an FEC 100 and a Yoder.
Oh, and a Yoder.
I have a Yoder 640 and the FEC 100. And I have a Traeger that sits in the shed.
So, exactly. So, because you can't find Traeger pellets, and you don't want to void the warranty.
No, not at all. I won't use Traeger pellets. Sorry, they cannot go into my cookers.
Why? Because you don't like alder-based pellets with apple oil in them?
I don't know what's in them. I don't know what's in them, but they produce about 5 times as much ash, and to me, I'm afraid of what's in them.
Did you see Don G's find that Traeger circa 1937?
I was privy to pictures as the purchase was going down, and yes,
wow.
That is a beautiful piece of that's historic. That's a nice. That's like having an old car. It's more than just a cooker.
Yes, that's when Traeger was Traeger. At some point, they became like Chinese manufactured or something. They sold, and then it all kind of went down.
I have one of the first from overseas.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. See, it's in your garage. Don's is like on proud display next to his restored Corvette.
Yes,
I don't know if Don actually has a restored Corvette, but that's where it should be. Don's actually wondering in the chat room if it's still under warranty. I mean, it doesn't even look like it's ever been cooked on, so why not? I don't think warranty starts until you actually cook on it the first time.
And he needs to cook on it too. He can't just keep it as a showpiece. He has to cook on that.
That's the dilemma, right? You have somehow
it was made to be covered in smoke.
I don't know. I get there's certain things that I just get so nervous about. Like I would never go out and buy. If I saw that and restored it, I would leave it as like a showpiece. Everybody would hate me, but nobody would know that. Why it should stay like that for me, but me. But if I had a Ferrari, it would stay in my garage because I would never want anybody to maybe even think about looking at it.
Sinful.
Maybe hitting it.
Sinful.
A rock could kick. As Cameron said in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it could get wrecked, stolen, scratched, breathed on wrong, a pigeon could shit on it. Who knows?
Sitting in the house unused, it could happen too.
Yes, of course. I mean, those type of things were now with my black Kia. I never wash it. I never change the oil. Run it down the road. Certain things with me take high priority. That Traeger would be one of them. I would be scared to cook on that because I would want to preserve it. But you're completely the opposite. It's a cooking vessel. Cook on it, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying use it as your daily cooker and beat it up and all of that. But I believe they should be cooked on. And I'm like that. I collect fishing lures. I'm in the fishing community more than I'm even in the barbecue community.
Really?
And I fish with lures that some of my friends go absolutely nuts. That I will throw. I have some that haven't been made many, many, many years, and they were meant to die in the water with the tooth of a fish. Like it was. I'm a little bit sacrilegious with that stuff. I believe that it should be used.
Would you say that you are a better? What's the word? There's a fancy term. Would you say you're a better angler or a better pitmaster?
I am orders of magnitude a better angler than a
really orders of magnitude. Oh my, that's a lot for the lame Centralites that don't know what that means. Patrick is a much better fisherman than a barbecue. I find that hard to believe because you are on your way to the Sam's Club final. Do you?
I've won fishing tournaments, many of them. I've never won a barbecue event yet. I've won categories.
How many fishing shows have you ever been on?
I wrote for one, a TV show. I've written for magazines for 25 years, and I've been.
Are you writing about how you won a fishing contest?
No, I write advice columns for I've written for some of the big ones like Saltwater Sportsman and things like that.
You and my father-in-law would get along swimmingly. That guy has been known in the dead of winter to run out at 5 o'clock in the morning before he goes to work to catch his fill of, whatever the hell is swimming at that type of a cold weather in Lake Erie. He comes, Bob, how are they biting? I didn't catch a one. And you got up at 5 in the morning at 32 below in your hip waders to go out and get. I love it. Is that you, or do you have degrees of the love of angling?
I've been in and out of the charter boat industry for years. I'm a charter boat captain. Really? I've owned a couple of different ones back and forth, and recreational fishing, the sport, and now the politics of it is my full-time living for a very long time now.
So is that your job? You're a fisher?
I'm an advocate. I don't get paid enough to allow people to call me a lobbyist, though I am registered. I'm registered in at least 2 states, but I'm a professional advocate representing recreational fishing community and entities like that within the government process.
Really?
So we do stuff. Like, I fight for beach access. There's the Endangered Species Act can be abused by the United States government at times, or strictly interpreted, and there tends to be fights over habitat and natural resources, and I tend to represent recreational anglers and try and talk some common sense into the government or figure out compromise and things like that. And so I'm a consultant, and but I fight for fishermen's rights for a living.
Is that something that you got into because of your love of fishing, and it just turned into a job?
As I was a president of a very large recreational fishing club, and I used to, do that as part of that being of the duties of being involved in a club. And my mother's an immigrant, and she gave us we were raised in that if you don't vote, you don't speak. Like about that part of you're an American, so you have a responsibility as a citizen. And so I was raised with that. So the things that I volunteer in, if you don't like something or if you want to get involved in the way that rules get made, or you can be one of them people who sits on Facebook and complains for the rest of, whatever about something after the fact. So I choose to vote. And because of volunteering in fishing clubs and then finding out about how fishing regulations came about and getting totally deep into it. And I think like many people who are into barbecue, I have an addictive personality, so I can't do something a little bit. In fact,
you're all the way in or nothing.
Yes, absolutely. There is no half measures anywhere near anything that I do.
Is there in the offing, or maybe you've already tried it, a basic Patrick fishing show?
A television show? No.
Like this, like an online radio or an online show. There has to be orders of magnitudes bigger audience available.
There is not this, what you do, Greg, and what you do very well. I really want people someday have to see this from the angle that I'm sitting, because I do think there are people who think that this is a guy behind his computer, and I don't think they understand, or I don't think it's generally understood how much goes into getting one of these and what you do and the way that you do it and the different outlets that it's broadcast. How technical it is, but there is not a lot of saltwater fishing podcast, this kind of this media genre going on right now, especially in New England and the Northeast. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that it has been something that myself and a few friends have talked about. Quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
So maybe it could happen.
Yeah, I'd like to do it with the magazine that I used to write for, because of the potential that if it has to be monetized to make it worth it.
Yeah.
You probably got this off as a passion, but I'm looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment sitting here in your basement, and you do this like a professional, and it has to bring something back to you, or you have to enjoy. Well, hopefully, it's America, right? So you get to. Hopefully we all get to do stuff and then monetize things that we love, because that's, I think, the goal. But
I did a interview with Scott Roberts. He's the sauce and rub reviewer here on the show. He interviewed me a couple weeks ago, and it's finally up on his website. And we talked for a decent length of time in that interview about how I got into this. And he was talking about sponsors and this and that. And I said, look, you can never get into a podcast or something along these lines of media, as you would say, with the fervent belief and hope to make it $1. You have to do it because you love it, and it's something. I mean, obviously, I can tell just by the 3 or 4 minutes you were talking about the gaming and the fishing and stuff. I mean, that is a huge passion of yours. Mm-hmm. So that's what you need first and foremost. I mean, it just so happens, maybe through attrition, maybe through the length of time that I've done this show, that people found it attractive. And look, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been approached and then we've gotten into some type of a conversation. And I don't charge a lot to be a sponsor on the show. If you go and compare what I would charge compared to TV or regular radio, but what you get with any podcast is what I call target marketing. You know, everybody that turns into this show loves grilling or loves barbecue or some form or fashion of it. And that's like who you want to be in front of. But I never, ever, ever, from the very start of this show, thought that I would ever make $1 from it, nor was I interested in really attempting to do that. It just so happens that the hard work and the effort, the working harder and smarter, paid off at some point. And I have guys like Dave Bosca and Sterling Ball and the BBQ Guru guys and the jeweler who lives in Willoughby, who I told, don't give me your money, you're stupid for doing this. They believe it. And I think your concept would be, I think you have the main ingredient to have a successful show, which is to be A, an expert in the industry that you love, but B, you're passionate about the industry. So those two things you need to have in order to have any type of a successful show. And I think you and your friends, or however you would structure it, would be a rousing success. Get after it. Hurry up.
Well, the problem, Greg, is that I'll say this. It's something that's been talked about between a couple of us, but I have a list of things that I don't have time for.
That's one of them.
Because barbecue, my wife, my family, and some other things. And I don't like to do things halfway. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'm right now focusing on barbecue and a couple of other side projects.
All right. So what about, just for maybe the people that missed your first appearance, was that like a month and a half ago or whatever it was? It seems like it was just like 2 weeks ago. But
yeah, it was 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks. How did you get into the barbecue deal? What was your bug?
Yeah, it was a friend through that same fishing organization. Kept telling me about barbecue contests, and he had been a judge way back in the old days. New England Barbecue Society, the New England Society of Wood Cookery, I think was the original name. But this guy, my friend Arthur, was a judge, and you'd love this, Patrick. I know the way you cook, and I know how you feel about this stuff, and you'd love this, and you'd love this. And we eventually, me and my wife, thought it'd be cool to go get certified as judges, and we went and we took the class. And there was a competition on Cape Cod. It was actually the last KCBS competition on Cape Cod. It's no longer there. And we went to judge it, and a series of events and things happened where it ended up that there were people that I knew through other avenues. And I hated judging that time. I judge once or twice a year. I absolutely believe in it as a tool for competition research. To go into the tent to understand judges and to also understand what other people are turning in. But that's the only thing I want to do with judging anymore. But after that first one, we have to cook. And like many people, when we went to our first contest, we got, it was a KCBS and there was 2 ancillaries. And of those 4, we had, of the six entries, 4 of them we sent in, that we sent to the judges went top 4, and we were done. We were literally on the way out. We had rented a small U-Haul trailer. I was early days of Amazon Prime, and I had actually bought a second WSM and had it shipped to me for the $3.99 overnight shipping, just so that we had the second cooker to run the full program. That we had no idea what we were doing, and we had rented the small U-Haul trailer, and on the way home, literally, Wendy, my wife, looked at me and said, "You should probably start thinking about buying a trailer." Like, she knew we were going to do this that first, leaving Old Orchard Beach that first weekend that we competed. And here we are 4 years later, and we love it. It is definitely one of those things that you have a passion for competition barbecue, and you can't think about it too much.
Are you surprised that you are as invested and as passionate about it, looking back on where you started and seeing where you are now? Are you surprised you're at the position where you're at right now?
I am not surprised that we have made continued forward progress. I'm not surprised that we are starting to reach some of the competition goals that we are, because I know how hard that I'm working. I know how hard my wife is working. I know how hard together that we're working. What I'm surprised is, I'm really surprised that it's taken up, that it's become this big part of our life. And I want no part of being in the food industry. I really don't. It would be nice to make this thing not as expensive. And so I'll do some catering and whatnot, but just on the side. Like, I don't want a catering business. Like that's not what I'm in this for. This is about straight competition. This is just like a sport. This is just like being on the dart league or, fishing, professional fishing tournaments, like whatever it is. I do this about competition. We added Cooking Harvard a couple of weeks ago, and we added into the schedule for two reasons. One, it's not good to go 3 weeks between contests when you're coming into a contest of this seriousness this weekend. So to keep on a regular, just keep running the program. But two, there were 4 teams in New England within a few points of each other for the New England Barbecue Society Team of the Year in pork. And I couldn't not be at the contest with the other 3 teams. We were one of them. I couldn't not be there taking a shot at coming in first, and we were in third. We ended up winning. We ended up being second place in that weekend and taking Team of the Year in pork in the New England Barbecue Society. And we broke up the Smoking Hogs. Billy Gillespie has been, Billy Allen and Sean have been so friendly, welcoming, and giving people to people, but very much to us. And they literally took the other 3 category teams at Team of the Year and the overall Team of the Year in the New England Barbecue Society, and we broke up the sweep by winning Team of the Year in pork. But our reason for going to that contest was really about, how do you not be in that competition if you do this? How do you, that's the juice for me. It's not even the winning, it's playing, and it's playing with a shot to win. The reason I buy Wagyu brisket, why? Because I don't believe that you really have a regular shot to win if you're not using using what a designer beef.
Yep.
But that, to me, it's the juice is in the competition. It's not even the results of the competition. It's the actual playing of the game. That to me, and whatever it is that I compete in, I'm just that kind of personality. I like to compete. And but I'm surprised that it's become so big in our life.
Patrick Paquette joining me. He is the pitmaster of the Basic BBQ Team. They are going down to the Sam's Club, on their way, literally, to the Sam's Club final in Bentonville, Arkansas.
We're halfway there.
That's right. All right. We are a little bit behind here, but we'll catch up here at top of the hour. I want to talk to you quickly about El Diablo Mustard. You ever tried this, Patrick? El Diablo Mustard?
I have not.
Not
I have
something
not.
You should pass up if you run across it. Whether you're tailgating for college or pro teams, September is kickoff season for diehard football fans. El Diablo Mustard wants to turn your tailgate into a blazing affair. Try adding some El Diablo's fiery habanero roasted chipotle, flaming jalapeno, or spicy mango into your favorite tailgate recipe, and you'll add a new flavor kick that's hot and intense. El Diablo features 6 bold flavors that taste great and are hot as hell. Try mango for sweet island heat, and a kick of Southwest with roasted chipotle. Try Steakhouse for a zing of Worcestershire and tangy tomato. Make an ordinary dog an instant chili dog with El Diablo's Texas chili. Try jalapeno on some hot bacon, or a burger for real jalapeno puree and a mustard zing. Or try habanero for a flavor inferno you daring types demand for all heat all day. Connect with El Diablo on Twitter or Facebook for recipe, tips, and giveaways. Bold flavors, great taste. El Diablo is the mustard that bites back. LDiabloMustard.com. All right, we will quickly, and believe me when I say quickly, be right back.
Hi, this is Scott Green.
Damn it.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back, but we are quickly exiting to make up time here on the second hour. Patrick Paquette joining me here in studio. Reggie Kelly was just on 2 segments ago. Recap that here at the top of the second hour. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand? understand my intention.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
Just like that, we're into the second hour. And when I say we, I mean me, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you, host of the Barbecue Central Show. That's what you found, by the way. This is the Barbecue Central Show. We talk about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling here. Joining me in studio is Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team.
Glad to be here.
He is on his way to the finals in Bentonville, Arkansas for the Sam's Club National Series. So excited that he was able to stop by. I was asking you earlier today, what's the route? Was there any alternative? I remember in simply horrifying conversation with my oldest daughter. We were driving out in the complete opposite direction you were coming. So we were going 90 eastbound, going out to Geneva that you passed on the way. And there was a car that drove by, and it said Oklahoma on the license plate. My daughter was like, "Oh, Oklahoma." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Maybe they're going to Saratoga, where we were just at this past weekend." She's like, "Well, why would they go there? Or why would they go this way?" I said, "Well, how the hell do you think they're getting to Saratoga?" She's like, "Well, wouldn't they just, drive north?" I said, "Well, I think technically they're kind of driving north." And she's like, "No, from underneath Pennsylvania." Yeah, the horror set in. Bobby, where's Oklahoma at? I don't know, like down over there by like Delaware. No, it's not there. Boy, did the pride swell up in a father, I'm telling you. So after we figured out where Oklahoma was, I was so anyway, long way to go to say, did you take into account different routes, or was this really the only way that made sense for you guys?
There was, okay, so my wife is chief navigator. That's one of hers. She's in charge of navigation.
She's the goose to your Maverick.
And however, the conversation went down like this, and it happened last Tuesday, was, are we going to do it in one crazy 24-hour? Because it's about roughly 25-hour drive with no stops. So we're going to do this in a 30-hour crazy marathon thing and then lay up in the hotel for 2 days early because you want to, or do we want to make a stop? And then I was, okay, what are the ways? And when we looked at the map, I went, Cleveland. And I was like, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a stop. And then it went, wait a minute. We're talking about going Tuesday. Rempe, show. Oh, wait a minute. There's a plan here. Yeah. And so in general, once we started to think about a plan, there was no other option. This was the way it had to
Cleveland or bust. Rarely that happens.
And if you had told me a month ago, geez, you're going to be excited about going to Cleveland.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I would have laughed at your LeBron jersey. But no, I was psyched about this whole trip. And we're having a ball. We love to go on the road. My wife and I, we like to do things. That road trips are just something that we enjoy. And
how fast? Like, what's average speed?
Cruise control has been set at 65 to 67.
All right. So, you're making, for what and if, you don't know what's going on, he's got a 350, but you're pulling, a fairly decent sized trailer behind it. So it's not like you're just getting after it. You got some weight behind you, too.
Yeah, it's 10 by 12. It's, it's 12 foot long with the V-nose, which makes it 14 or 15 feet total, but it's a single axle trailer. It's not huge. So in that Ford pickup truck, it stops it and pulls it easily. So it's a very easy tow.
Maybe you didn't know this, Patrick, but the 2014 Sam's Club Series rolled into Midwest City, Oklahoma this past weekend.
Yes.
This was the last regional final, seeing the top 10 teams move on to the national finals in Bentonville, Arkansas. Obviously, if you don't know, we've only mentioned it 50 times this show already, that it takes place this weekend. And the top 10 teams moving on to the national finals are, in specific order, Grand Champion, just shy of 700 points. Well, look at this. Travis Clark and the Clark Crew Barbecue Team.
Karma.
Let's review quickly.
Karma.
What did I have on? Let's see. The internet right. Oh, wait. That guy was on the show last week.
Karma.
And he won. Uh-oh. Watch out. As Patrick would say, karma. Absolutely.
Greg.
It never doesn't work, right?
Greg.
Could anybody have... I mean, you should just mail it in. I mean, you're in the house.
Greg.
No one soaks up more karma than you.
There are so many of your regulars that in the chat room that are competing this weekend. The reason we came to Cleveland is I had to come get me some.
That's right. Like, not by phone, not by email,
in person.
Sitting in person. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's yours. There's no reason that you're going to lose it.
Leave no doubt.
Everybody else is cooking for Reserve Grand Champion. Speaking of Reserve Grand, Caveman Cuisine took Reserve Grand this past weekend in Midwest City. Then you have Burt Fingers Barbecue, very formidable team. Dirt Road Barbecue was fourth. Maybe you've heard of this guy, David Qualls, the American Dream Barbecue Team, finishing fifth place with a 683 and high change. Natural Born Grillers, another formidable opponent. Smoking in the Dark was seventh. Getting Basted was eighth. Shake and Bake Barbecue ninth. And Bayou Boogie Barbecue was 10th. Your points discrepancy between 1 and 10 was about 13 points, so a pretty decent spread between 1 and 10. We've certainly seen it a lot less than that here in different regional finals and local qualifiers, but that sets the stage. Those are your last 10, making up the final 50 that will be competing this coming weekend. So just as you hear that list, Patrick, I mean, those are some pretty heavy hitters. You have a few top 10, top 20 teams that are there in KCBS. Other teams that maybe don't cook a tremendous amount, but seem to do very well when they're out there on the competition scene. You said 77% chance of winning or something like that the last time you were on. Have your odds increased, do you feel?
Okay, so first of all I cared about last weekend was that the American Dream Barbecue Team made it so that I get to see David, because I like David. He's another one of them guys who's been unbelievably helpful to me. And we met.
You've never met him in person, or yes?
We met at the KCBS banquet last year.
Okay, he's top notch,
and absolutely without question. So that was all I cared about. No, 77%. I didn't drive. Trust me, the credit card's not getting maxed to take this ride to go there and be 33rd.
Right.
However, if I'm 33rd, all I care about is that my food goes in a box and I turn it in. At that point in time, if you don't understand that this game has a lot to do with judging, it is what it is. So it's I just want to be proud of what I put in the box, and I'm happy.
Is the judging ever frustrating to you that, as you said, so much of it does come down to judging? If you've hit your marks, you've cooked your program, and for whatever reason, what you didn't get the past competition, or what you got the past competition isn't what you're getting this competition. Does that ever is it like a mind F to a certain degree that becomes frustrating, or it's just part and parcel of the game?
It's part and parcel of the game. Judges are human. Humans are not perfect. That's part of it. It's part of understanding how KCBS competitions work, is understanding, doing what you can to read about the judges, but it's also, there's a point where you just let go and understand that people are people, and things aren't perfect and systems aren't perfect. And I know for me, if I want to make an excuse that doesn't blame myself, I'll find one. So you hear there's a lot of that when it comes to it. My big thing is I just hope that we're all judged on the same scale. What a 9 is, what a 6 is, I leave that argument to people who have much more time for drama in their life. To me, is if we're on the same scale, then I'll put my food up against the next guy and I'll take what I deserve, hopefully. It's even when it's bad.
All right. Patrick Paquette weighing in on what's going to be happening this coming weekend. Sitting in for the entire show, by the way. Soaking in maximum amount of karma juice that is possible to a human being. We're going to be talking with Sterling Ball coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about Butcher's Barbecue. That's right, butcherbbq.com. No easier way to step up the barbecue and grilling game than by adding a little Butcher's Barbecue to your arsenal. We all know Butcher's well known for the injections, the pork to beef, the prime injection, the bird booster, which has really been taking the poultry injection world by storm. Maybe the injection world by storm just in general. If you have constantly complained in the past about how your chicken doesn't taste good or it's not moist enough, whatever the excuses and the bitching has been, stop it. Go to butcherbbq.com, go to Bird Booster, and see all the different flavors that you can get right now and start doing, even Dave said during the Chicken Roundtable last week, do the 1-2 punch, inject, and then with the leftover, let it sit overnight, and do a little brine as well. Do the injection and the brine with the Bird Booster. Why not? Double the pleasure, double the fun. Now, perhaps you're looking for the go-to rub or sauce. Well, you've done a very good thing by visiting Butcher's Barbecue as well. You have a complete line of award-winning rubs and sauces. Some of those rubs include the steak and brisket rub. One of my personal favorites, the honey rub, which is half of what I've called the North Coast offense, which I'm the only one that actually uses it. The honey rub has been doing very well in markets. You've seen it on television shows that Dave's been on. You can try the premium rub, especially if you inject with Butcher's, because it's formulated to work with the injection, a perfect 1-2 punch to impress judges and friends alike. Of course, the sweet barbecue sauce. I have it right there in the prize closet. I'm going to give a bottle to Patrick before he leaves to ensure victory coming down the road in this coming weekend. Look, when it comes to sauce, I'm as picky as it gets. Butcher's Barbecue Sweet Sauce wins in every category for me. Not overly sweet. A nice slice of tang, just the right of back-end heat for me. No liquid smoke, which I certainly appreciate. Dave took the time and effort to make a quality sauce. Didn't take the easy way out to add the liquid smoke like a lot of these other people do. Get a box of 6. It's going to go quick. Trust me, you'll thank me later. No worries about breaking the bank on shipping either. Items totaling up to $55 ship at $8.50. Between $55 and $200 ship at $9.75. Or do what I do. Take the easy way out. Order something that's over $200 and everything ships for free. Trust me, if you can't get $200 worth of products on Butcher Barbecue's website, you're not looking hard enough. ButcherBBQ.com. Right, am I lying, Patrick?
There are 7 of David's products in my trailer right now.
That's right. Not only you get the cheer for that, you get the ding for product placement there by the Basic BBQ Team. Head on over to butcherbbq.com right now. That's butcherbbq.com. And remember this, always trust your butcher. Sterling Ball out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is the phone number. Email address. Patrick Paquette joining me here on the show. Last week, and about an hour ago, things went south with the internet. And when you're an internet-based show, well, you kind of need the internet in order to do the show. So, as promised, rejoining me now after that travesty that took place a week ago Tuesday is the pitmaster of Big Poppa Smokers, Sterling Ball, rejoins me and Patrick here on the show. Sterling, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Well, evidently we're better than we were a week and about this time ago, I would say. The internet is...
I was just about to brag about Steph Franklin being RGC, and I got cut off.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You know, everything is great with the internet until you don't have the internet, and when you're an internet-based show that relies heavily on the internet, well, things go south really quick.
I thought it was something I said.
Well, I didn't want to say it out loud, but of course you offended me, and I immediately dumped off and made up an elaborate scheme. But I'm glad we could put it aside and get back here. So let me ask you this, Sterling. Last week, we led the conversation with a repeat win in as many years. In was it where the hell were you at? Golden Eagle
Grand
or
Junction.
Grand Junction, right? So,
right.
Look, Patrick and I. By the way, Sterling, Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team is in studio on his way to Bentonville, Arkansas. So, Sterling, Patrick, Sterling. We were talking about this show karma thing. And Travis Clark from the Clark Crew Barbecue Team was on the Chicken Roundtable. He summarily went to the next competition on Saturday and promptly won it after appearing on the show. Much to the same fashion that you appeared on the show, however abrupt our end, went out to Telluride, Colorado, and won that thing as well. What is going on over there?
Well, and you know what I'm really proud of, James and I, is that we cooked Grand Junction and won it last year. We cooked Telluride last year and won it. So we went back to back, I guess, which I don't think has happened very much.
No, I don't remember the last time a team has competed in two competitions back to back and then have won them in the subsequent years leading up to the repeat wins. So I'm
not going back next year.
Well, right. You're like George Costanza. You end on the high note, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Quit before they throw me out. You know, they weren't cheering very much, I'll tell you right.
How would you know? You're never at awards.
I was there because it's 3 o'clock awards.
Oh.
If it's 3 o'clock, I'll stay. See, out in California, they're 5 and 6 o'clock at night. It's too late.
Do you have a secret flavor profile that seems to be dominating the square state of Colorado at this point? I mean, if you could go there again this weekend, I would say I would put heavy money on you to finish as a grand champion in Colorado.
No. There's so many good cooks there. But look, as everybody out there knows, you got to get pretty fortunate. You have to cook well, and you have to get fortunate. But I think Colorado's got great cooks. But to answer your question, wherever I go, I cook the same, and I think most guys do. I think the flavor profiles are pretty consistent across the country now.
Does it just speak on how the judges are being educated? I mean, if you're for a long time, and maybe it was more internet ballyhoo than anything else, that you couldn't cook the same in California as you did in Kansas City, as you did down there in the Southeast and the Florida, Georgia regions. There were 3 different profiles that were expected by the judges. Do you think that there has become a standard flavor profile expectation to judges now, if you can cook the same way regardless of where you're at?
Well, I mean, you can cook the same way and not be successful. I think if you've got pretty good flavor profiles, I think you're pretty safe. But I think that's really Rod Gray. Again, I give him a lot of credit for a lot of things. And, Rod Gray taught 1,600 people how to cook competition barbecue, and they're all over the country. And with our elite teams, they're all using a very similar flavor profile between Simply Marvelous and Big Poppa Smokers, the West Coast offense. And we do that tongue-in-cheek because a lot of guys get upset about it, but it's just kind of a joke, the West Coast offense. But, I mean, guys in Florida, Rub Bagby uses it, and, so it's across all 48 states.
Sterling Ball joining me here on the show. BigPoppaSmokers.com is the website if you want to go buy everything on his website. He would certainly appreciate it, and so would I. Sterling, we wanted to hit on a few different things that the disconnection last week didn't allow us to, and one of them was and for the people that don't know about it, obviously KCBS has our own scoring system and the points race for Team of the Year and all that other stuff. But there's this new thing out there now, well, new to me, I guess, and perhaps new to other people, BBQScores.com, that has like a Team of the Year awards that don't necessarily compete with KCBS, but are kind of weighted a different way. And I know you're really big into batting averages and teams that don't compete 35 and 40 teams and see where they stack up in a relative sense to some of those other guys. So what can you tell me about BBQScores.com?
Well, BBQScores.com is Stan and Will, and actually I'm involved too. and it's a great competition management system. But with the data we're able to collect, we're able to step back and recognize because people's achievements. I think, like last year, 0.4% of the teams that competed were in contention for Team of the Year. Okay, and I think you got the statistics of how many people cooked between 1 and 5, and I think it's like 83 or 84%. And there's no awards for them. And I believe just like in golf, there's handicaps. I think in you have a tennis club, there's a ladder, and I think that our ladder is number of teams, number of competitions entered. So what we're doing is we're able to do 1 to 5 cooks, 6 to 12, 13 to 25, and in most cases for the winners give trophies, if not certificates, but just acknowledge them because, like I said, it's 85% and 65% only cooked one contest. So the idea, if we want to grow the sport, is to try and give people more reasons to want to cook.
This statement is potentially blasphemous, and there's no disrespect meant when I say it to people that are out there for Team of the Year. But, if there's only 0.4% of the entire competing public out there in KCBS that are doing the amount of competitions that you need to do to really have a shot at it, does it in any way take away from the cachet or the achievement of Team of the Year because you're really going up against perhaps less, not less teams, but there's fewer people trying to achieve that goal that you are trying to achieve?
Okay, first of all, we're not competing with them. We're not taking anything away from them, but it sort of makes sense to me that the other 7,000 people can have at least something to shoot for. And, we're also going to recognize this regionally. I'm just going to tell you, if you had any kind of a hobby that didn't have a ladder and didn't have divisions, you wouldn't have a very thriving hobby. And here's the deal. If you don't want the award or don't want the recognition, you don't have to have it. But I think it's nice to know that right now, that of the guys who have cooked 1 to 5, that Abel Akers is leading the country, followed by Lang Brothers Smokers. 2 dudes are leading chicken, but my favorite California team, Toot and Stinky, is fourth in a dogfight. It's just, we want to recognize more people. And KCBS does a great job, and I don't want to take anything away, show any disrespect for guys going for the Team of the Year. We're just trying to give something else, too. It's a plus deal, not a minus.
You've been a very big proponent of recognition for teams that are out there competing, regardless of how many events that they're doing. You've been starting your own competitions to try and drive interest into competition barbecue, obviously with the guinea pig. It can't be a bad thing to recognize people doing 1 to 5 competitions or 6 to 12 or whatever it is. You want to keep the interest because in the end, you don't want people to become disenfranchised or feel like what they're doing really isn't worth anything and they can go blow their money on other things. Because as you've pointed out a billion times, Sterling, a competition barbecue, not so cheap to do, right?
Oh, it's super expensive. And, I think there's nothing wrong with competition barbecue, but there's also nothing wrong with giving people a few other choices or opportunities to cook. And the guinea pig at $400, we're having it at Mission Hills Country Club in beautiful Palm Desert, California, and it's $400. It includes everything, and there's swimming pools for the kids and a pizza party afterwards and a dessert potluck. And if I know people who got 2 calls, and the contest cost them $50 to cook, and the people who won it won a couple $grand because it's a $10,000 purse.
Do you think that there will be you mentioned the $10,000 purse because to me that seems to be a line of demarcation where $10,000 and up is maybe what some teams would consider worthwhile, but you still see some purses that are unfortunately, and for lack of a better term, kind of putrid and overall put out. So, especially if you're traveling from some distance, you're probably going to be in the red regardless, maybe even if you win the whole damn thing between entry fees and the meat and the traveling and all that other crap. Do you think that there will be
Greg, a barbecue contest needs a good sponsor, an underwriter, or a group of sponsors. But really, the product we deliver them isn't really conducive to a return for the sponsor. It's up to 1:30, we're really not engaged, and then we don't really sell barbecue very often. And in fact, most barbecue contests don't even have seating for the fans. So I think you're going to see, if we don't make some changes, I think you'll see purses go down and not up. And I think there's a lot of guys that were in the top tier that were cooking 2 briskets forever that are now cooking 1 Wagyu brisket, and it's their way of controlling the cost. But purses we have to figure out a way to make purses go up and manage the costs a little better.
In regards to some of the competitions that I had briefly mentioned, I talked about the guinea pig, but obviously at the end of the year, there has one that is, even in its short 2 years of existence, become a pinnacle of what a lot of teams hope to achieve the invitation to, which is the King of the Smokers. Obviously, there was a leak out of a team that had kind of received that first official invite of the King of the Smokers this year. How is that competition shaping up for 2014, and what can you tell? I mean, obviously you're steeped within the inner workings of it, but what can we expect this year from King of the Smokers?
Well, I think you're going to expect to see even better teams. Everybody always wants to know what the qualifications are. It's not just this year's money list. It's major winners. It's legends. And it's a combination of that with 2014, but so far, we've leaked out David and Christine Qualls of American Dream and Tim at Shake and Bake, because I love the fact that a drum cooker and that whole Insane Can Posse, I think those guys are really fun and really good cooks, and I like the direction of can cooking. Travis Clark, I think he's cooked 14 contests, and he has 5 GCs and 4 RGCs, and I'm not sure he's been out of the top 5. Rod Gray, I leaked out today. Rod Gray, to me, has been one of the most, as I said earlier, one of the most influential and cooker with one of the most biggest impact. And regardless of how much he's cooking this year, although he'll be happy to know he's leading the barbecue scores 6-12 category right now overall. So Rod Gray, and tonight I'll drop a little one that Donnie Bray and Warren County are coming out for it.
Well, wasn't he invited last year too?
Yeah, but he and Tim were in that dogfight.
Yes.
Where they were tied at the end. So it made for kind of a tough scramble. We have Rodney Crowell, a Grammy-winning, multi-Grammy-winning instrumental songwriter playing. We have a very big movie star coming.
Name this person.
Huh?
Name this person.
I would never say that Bill Murray's coming.
I would never say that either. I would also never say that he's one of the funniest actors ever on the face of the earth. I would never say that. Yeah,
well, Fire is watching he and Darren Worth in a jacuzzi talking barbecue. I've seen it. Billy's a barbecue fan. Billy has a Hasty Bake and a Meadow Creek.
Are you surprised? All bravado aside, but I mean, are you surprised that King of the Smoker has risen? And I don't say this tongue in cheek, but has really risen to cataclysmic fame in regards to competitions during the course of the year. Just 2 years in, are you surprised the level and the status that it has achieved?
Well, personalities of the team have a lot to do with it, and that's a factor in their selection. I mean, there's one rule with King of the Smoker. I don't know if you know that. I have one rule. No whining. Okay? If you whine, you're out. And in 2 years, I haven't had any whining. I make a commitment to keep them completely undisturbed until 1:30. And then from 1:30, every 20 minutes, there's a little master class. and everybody that asks participates. I think the setting, the La Quinta Resort, is unbelievable. I think the fact that we're able to raise over $250,000 for pediatric causes last year was huge. And I'd like to announce also tonight that BJ's Brewhouse, a 150 chain restaurant, have just committed as our title sponsor for a very significant amount of money. So, I mean, and by the way, all the costs are underrated by Big Poppa Smokers, so every dollar we take in gets given to charity.
The charity thing is really, and maybe you don't go out of your way to talk about it, but just from dealing with you and reading and seeing the things that you're into, the charity aspect on top of all this other stuff, the promotion of the competitions and who you're having out and the success of the rubs and all this stuff, but the charity thing for you is really, at least from my perspective, the most important piece that you're playing in this whole game, right?
You know what? It's a great chance in barbecue to take the regional cooks that are great in the elite program and have them actually compete not just for themselves, for something local that maybe doesn't get national attention, is underfunded. Yeah, I think that's more important than a barbecue trophy.
Sterling Ball joining me here on the show. BigPoppaSmokers.com is the website. Sterling, do you have anything as far as the website is concerned? While we have a couple minutes left, do you have anything that you are specifically promoting or putting out on sale on the website that people might want to take advantage of tonight?
No, I'm really excited about Swamp Boy sauce. Okay, and
let me ask you something about that. Now, hold on a second. I was talking to somebody unsolicited, went on like a 5-minute rant about how good Rob's sauce is, and I think I make a pretty good homemade sauce. But this, I haven't heard anything other than the ultimate praise for this stuff. I mean, is it really that good?
Well, I mean, since I've got it on 3 out of 4 meats, and I'm in the top 20 in all of them, and I think it has a lot to do with rub sauce. And, there's a changing of the guard that happens with flavor profiles, and I'm not pronouncing anybody alive or dead, but I'm saying rub certainly is making the most significant impact in the sauce market in years, probably since Blues On.
You can get that at Big Poppa Smokers, right?
Yeah, we're the exclusive internet outlet. You can also buy it from Rub. I love the Bagbies. They're great people.
One of the things that I asked you about a couple weeks ago was what seemed to be a shortage on Wagyu briskets. Do you have them in stock? Do you have purveyors that you're potentially lining up? Is there a shortage of beef briskets around that are of the high quality?
This time of the year it gets a little bit sketchy. I know that Snake River has them, but I know they've had some interrupted supplies. We're pretty much out most of the year. It's been they sold the name and the beef to a Durham Ranch and Sierra Meats, so it's been harder for us to get them. And there is a shortage. And I'm very concerned about the cost of briskets. I mean, I just saw one guy selling domestic Wagyu for $15 a pound, and that's a fine price. But man, I think $15 a pound briskets are really making competition even more expensive. Currently I'm working with a very major rancher with their prime and their high prime. And I'm evaluating and testing it, and I really like it. And it's briskets. It's going to sell for $4.50 a pound.
That's significantly less, by the way.
Oh yeah. Brisket's expensive.
Well, $15 a pound.
And people going to Duroc on pork.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid $6.95 for some ribs recently a pound. That's a lot of money for ribs.
Yeah. And just for point of fact for people that don't know, I mean, regular ribs are going to run you in that $2 to $3 a pound. So, I mean, you're roughly paying double for ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord.
But, Greg, it's so competitive, and there's so many really good cooks out there that, everybody's looking for whatever advantage they can. I mean, I'm cooking comp pork. I love it.
Where are you competing at next, Earl?
I'm cooking in Mission Beach, California, under an old roller coaster, and then I go to the Royal.
I got a question from the in-studio guest here, Sterling. This is Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hi, Sterling. How you doing?
Hi, Patrick. How are you?
I just had a hopefully a simple question, and I don't think it's the first time you've heard it, but just as one of those cooks who cooks, I think we're cooking 10 this year. Appreciate very much the way that you think about things in competition barbecue. So the question is simple. When are you going to run for KCBS Board of Directors?
Oh, boy.
What?
Go ahead, Greg. You please.
When are you running for the KCBS board?
Listen, when I run for the KCBS board, you can knee me in the groin and light my back hair on fire.
Yeah, never. Wow.
There are lots of people talking about the subjects that Mr. Ball is talking about, and more of us need to be talking about them.
Well, you know what you got to do is support people that are trying to do something different too.
Absolutely.
And there was a drum contest in Iowa that I think got less than 15 people. And I want to make sure something, because a lot of people get really defensive when you talk about change in barbecue. I'm not talking about really changing. I'm talking about giving people more options. I'm talking about trying to create things to get people to cook more. I'm trying to make sure we keep the family and maybe even bring the family back more, because I think that's important. So, and I think we've got to put on a better show. Those of us who are trying to be on, the 25 to 40 contest teams, I think we have to engage with the public more, because I think it's good for our future.
Sterling Ball is the pitmaster of Big Poppa Smokers. The website, of course, bigpoppasmokers.com, and I am proud to say a valued sponsor here of this show and a valued partner. Sterling, always appreciate the time. Glad we could have you back on again this week and finish the conversation. Until next time, my friend.
Well, I hope that karma thing works. I could use it in Mission Beach.
Trust me, this weekend will be the test, so I'll be watching with bated breath.
Okay.
All right.
Patrick, thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you,
Thank you.
Take care. There he is.
Yeah.
Sterling Ball, Big Poppa Smokers, BigPoppaSmokers.com. As a host of a show, Patrick, I don't know if you knew that I'm a host.
Yes. You're the host.
I appreciate a personality that's going to come on and really not pull any punches. I don't think he's necessary. He's not trying to offend anybody, but he's certainly not afraid to say, here's what I think is wrong. But not only that, offer solutions. As you said, why get involved in a fight if you're just going to be bitching and moaning? Bring some answers to the table.
It's not that he I love the way that he goes about it, because it's not about here's what I think is wrong. It's just about here's what I think we can do better.
Right.
And that should never, ever cause controversy. We should invite that kind of conversation, and we need it, because he makes some. We lost the contest in Cape Cod that hooked me, that got me to judge. That contest is gone, and the reason we can't get it back. And I promote and have overseen a 175 booth trade show. I've overseen things that are way more complicated. These types of events as an event planner, and I cannot come up with a way to bring the contest back on Cape Cod because of some fundamental issues with the public not being able to interact, and you have to give the public stuff. And Mr. Ball talks about that stuff, the affordability of this for the average blue-collar citizen. Those kinds of things are the things that we need to be talking about for the future, just so that we can improve with this thing that we do. And I mean, it's just I just very, very much am impressed by the way that he puts things, because it's not. I don't think he's offensive at all. I think he's just smart.
It's good to be smart. That's what I say. Speaking of smart, and Patrick uses them, Cookshack. That's right. Do you need an idea? How about the Sportsman Special, folks? If you need an idea for fishing or hunting enthusiasts, how about a Cookshack electric smoker? Now until September 26th, you can save up to $120 on our Sport 14 special. Purchase a residential smoker and receive a free set of jerky rods and cold smoke baffle. The smoker models included with this special are the SM009-2, the SM025, the SM045, the SM066. The jerky rods part numbers are PM006 and PM010. And the cold smoke baffle part number is PA020 and PA024. Enter promo code SPORT, SPORT14, when you check out online at Cookshack.com, or call and speak to one of the friendly folks at Cookshack directly, 800-423-0698. This offer is not valid with any other discount or promotion. Now, the Smokette Elite, the Super Smoker Elite, and the AmeriCube are the electric smokers that make it easy to add real wood smoke to your foods. They are inexpensive to operate and energy efficient. If you love smoking jerky, you will love how easy these stainless steel jerky rods are to use. Hang jerky strips on the rods that fit into the smoker's side racks. Prepare smoked cheese, lock-style salmon, steaks to finish on the grill, and more when you use a stainless steel cold smoke baffle. Turns the smoker into a cold smoking machine, or as we say at work, machine. For instructional videos on how to use or operate the units, the jerky rods, or the cold smoke baffle, check out the Cookshack YouTube channel or the cooking guide at the Cookshack website. Again, cookshack.com, and the website is the website and the number 800-423-0698. If you order online or if you're calling in, remember to use promo code SPORT, SPORT14, SPORT14. Don't delay, order today and get smoking. Cookshack is smoking made simple. All right, we're back to give some summatory thoughts on the past interview and maybe barbecue in general. It's Greg, it's Patrick, it's the Barbecue Central Show, and we're back right after.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Who would have thought this music thing was going to go this far? I never asked for this. I never asked for this fast living, the women, the whiskey, craziness. There's whiskey in my soul. Hey, Bert, let's go. I've been drifting down that open highway.
All right, I'm messing around with my microphone. It's going poorly for me. Somehow it's the swivel is broken on it. Never mind. All right, Patrick Paquette in the house. There he is, right there, right in front of him. Are you a user and abuser of Big Poppa Smokers rubs to any degree, or what do you like them, or have you tried them?
I have. I currently have been playing around with the happy ending finishing rub. That's the only one. If I had a wish for Big Poppa Smokers, I don't want them to give away trade secrets, but I'd love to see them give some more. You order that West Coast Offense package, and there's whatever it is, 14 products or something. But I'd love to see some more general direction given to people to play with different combinations of them. Don't give us all the recipes that somebody's going to pay to go to a class or that kind of stuff. But I'd like to see some more substance to the West Coast offense.
Well, I think that's what he was getting at, is that there's really no recipe as long as you're using a Simply Marvelous rub and a Big Poppa Smokers rub. You decide what the variant of each is, and you're playing the West Coast offense.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's but I've been playing around with this happy ending finishing rub.
Rumor has it that if you use Butcher's Barbecue Honey Rub, then you go over it with Big Poppa Smokers Money Rub, you have the North Coast offense. Yeah. Winning in my backyard, across my backyard. Chicks dig it. Here's a tip, just for like chicken wings. He's got that, I think it's called Little Louie seasoned salt. It's kind of like seasoned salt on steroids. So I put a nice layer of that, and then I follow it with the Sweet Money, which whenever anybody has the Sweet Money wings that I make out in the backyard, Man, it's to rave reviews. Everybody loves. What is that? Sweet Money Rub. So it's this Little Louie's seasoning salt and then a heavy dose of Sweet Money Rub, and then it's onto the Green Mountain Grill for 35, 40 minutes, depending on what speed I'm cooking at. These things are phenomenal, and the flavor of the Sweet Money. Have you had the Sweet Money?
I have not.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is worth the purchase. I'm going to call Sterling.
I do purchase from his store pretty often. I just haven't tried Sweet Money yet.
It's I just ordered a 5-pound bag. Look, I'm not. Nice. I know I say it, and it's different when you're watching at home or when you're listening on podcasts for me to say I order this or I order that. But I'm really the host that regardless if you sponsor me, I never will go to a sponsor and go, I want this or I want that. That's bullshit. I think if you're a host and you believe in the products and the people that sponsor your show, you should, of your own volition, go out and purchase their products. I mean, what do I say? You want to support the show? Support my sponsors. Well, it would be hypocritical for me to not support the sponsors if I need to buy stuff. I'm not going to call up Bob Trudnak and say, give me free gurus and Sterling Ball to say, fly me to the King of the Smoker contest. Sterling, fly me to the Smokers contest. Sounds like fun. We'll love to do it. But yeah. So let me ask you this, Patrick. I mean, here you are in the friendly confines, the palatial studios of the Barbecue Central show.
Actually, this is more, if people could see this is more like a spaceship.
You know? There's a lot of things that you can get shocked on.
There's some high-tech gear here.
Did you... I'm wondering, as someone who's been a fan of the show for as long as you have, and you have seen the progression of the show to, crappy webcam to banner behind me that really didn't take up the whole camera shot to graduating to the green screen thing, and I used to have that big ass banner that's hanging behind you now that basically just hides the couch and unfinished basement camera shot. Is this more or less what you thought of? I mean, if we go back through the annals of who has actually been in studio, my neighbor doesn't count because he's my neighbor and he can come to my house anytime he wants. Deputy Corey is been in the house, but he's also my friend and he lives around here, so he kind of doesn't count. So in the realm of, my parents, in the realm of barbecue, it's been now you, Billy Do-Rag Carroll, and Michael McDermott. Yep. It's you three of the whole barbecue committee. Out of the hundreds of people that I have had guests on the show, you are one of probably for however low the percentages of people that do the Kansas City Barbecue Society Team of the Year, the 0.4%. You're in the 0.4% that has actually been here.
I feel honored.
Has it met, exceeded, or gone below expectation?
No, you know something? It's exactly what I expected.
Really?
Do you know?
I don't know what you expected.
We were talking about this on the way here, my wife and I, Wendy, and I says, no, I think he's just a regular guy. Like, and I like that. Like, it's because I've been involved in seeing some things produced radio wise. I used to be a guest. I was a guest on a fishing radio program in Boston for a while. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been around some technical broadcast facilities. I had a feeling that this was going to be way more than a guy behind his computer with a webcam in his basement. That it was going to be like this is going to be a homemade studio, but at a regular guy's house. And this is exactly what it is and what I expected. It really is. It met exactly what I thought like the facility would look like and how like you had it. Like, I like it.
The ego isn't too overwhelming.
What ego?
My head.
You realize I'm from Boston, right?
Yeah, you're a dick. Is the show over yet? Wendy, come and get her. All right. I'm just excited that you made the stop. I mean, for me to see when you're like, hey, Cleveland. Well, you said the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I was like, oh, no.
Is it a waste of my time tomorrow morning? Am I going to be disappointed?
I don't know how to answer that.
No, honestly?
Yeah. I've never been.
Oh. Okay.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Everybody I've talked to said it's a waste of money.
Oh.
But you said you were coming to Cleveland, and I was like, well, I'm not going to tell him that. He's got to get him in here. Son of a... Well, here's the thing.
But the concerts are so good.
The majority of people have said that it's been a little bit lackluster. But
gotcha.
The people that have come that said that they like it are really into rock and roll.
Gotcha.
So if you're really a rock and roll guy and you like outfits and not tchotchke stuff, but stuff that you would think you'll see it in a case, you'll be able to relate it back to a certain time in your childhood or this growing up, or I remember seeing that on stage or something like that, then I think you're going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, if it's like, okay, so...
If you're going to expect music and famous people, you've made the wrong decision.
No, but so if you go through the Country Music Hall of Fame, it's not just like walking through the Hard Rock Cafe for country. It is actually, there's educational exhibits and information being presented.
It's got to be way more like that.
That's a good one. That was a good Hall of Fame. I've also been in different kinds of museums and whatnot that were just like walking through, looking at things in glass cases, and those are boring and a waste of money. It's cool to see some of that stuff, but there has to be some interpretive signage and some, video and audio visual experience. So that's, an educational experience as well. You want to be entertained in all areas of your head, not just your eyes.
Well, I'm hoping. Well, here's the good news. You go through the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and if you're 10 minutes in and you're like, wow, Rempe was not kidding. This thing is a waste of my effing money. The Cleveland Science Center is right next to it, right on the lakefront. Well worth the money.
So
that place is awesome.
Cool. I will remember that, because we're going to sleep probably a little bit in the morning.
Yeah.
We're going to get up. We're going to probably have 4 hours to experience the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or if it really sucks, maybe across the street at the Science Center.
Yeah.
And then we have another 13 hours to go to get to Bentonville, and we got to check in between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. But then I need to check in, set up, and then go put my ass in a hotel room bed so that I can sleep, so that I'm prepared, physically for the stress and the competition weekend.
And you're going to be loading in on a Thursday or a Friday?
Thursday. Oh, we compete on Friday. It's a Thursday load in. It's you load in a day earlier. So we load in Thursday from I think it's 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. You have to be loaded. You have to be in by 9 p.m.
Do you have your chicken trimmed already?
I have everything trimmed already.
Really?
There is my chicken, my ribs, my pork, and my brisket are all trimmed in the Cambro in the trailer.
I get really skittish about you already have everything already trimmed. Riding in the back. I mean, I know it's all on ice and everything, but for some reason, like me in the Ferrari, the pre-trimming of everything, and it's probably not any safer to do it maybe it's less safe to do it in competition.
The majority of that meat is ice frozen when it left the Cape this morning.
Yeah. Wow.
I trim my chicken and then put it in the freezer.
So what's your program going to be? Same one as you always cook?
Yes, I have been experimenting with ribs all year long because I'm not happy with my rib program. There's been one general program that I've cooked and I've tweaked on it. Last weekend we actually took a big swing by going back to an older program from a couple of years ago that we were having better results, but that had tailed off, and I wasn't thrilled with the results, and I don't think I want to make that kind of a change. So I think I'm just going back to the program that I cooked all year, that I cooked at the first two events. But yeah, no, this is not, you don't change this. This is military precision. Do it and do it well. I am a big believer that the flavor profile is not as important as a lot of people think. Cooking it well is what matters. And if you cook it well and you do not have an offensive flavor profile, then I think you can win. If you don't cook it well, you have no shot. So I'm more concerned with cooking the meat well than I am with the small tweaks on the flavors.
Will you do any type of judging of the judges? Will you try and get through the tent, see, like, if you got, I remember it was either Travis or Robert that said something about, well, if there's a lot of old bags in the judges' tent, I won't go hot. But if there's a lot of younger-looking folks, I might go a little spicier on the flavor profile. You do anything like that or no?
Every single bit of my flavors is already decided now. I literally, like, I won't test my chicken and then go, oh, I need to do this to it. I don't do it that way. I know what I'm cooking now. I know what the flavors I'm putting on it now is.
You're ready to go.
I'm nervously itching. I'd say it's, I mean, I wouldn't. You definitely feel it. This is our first time ever in a major, right? So it's. I'm not like.
You're not pooping yourself.
I'm not intimidated that way, but it's like cool. I'm sort of excited. I got that pregame stuff going on inside me. Like it's like, let's get this done. Like let's go to it now. Let's see how our food does.
Well, we're going to see this coming weekend, that's for sure. Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team joining me here in studio all show long, if you're just tuning in. Let me talk to you lastly, or perhaps more importantly, about the longest-running sponsor of the show, the good folks over at the BBQ Guru, Bob Trudnak, the gang over there in Warminster, Pennsylvania. If you've been thinking about automatic temperature control devices, don't look any further. Stop here. These are the guys that created this technology. Why are you going to buy from anybody else? I don't know why. If you're not familiar with how these little beauties work, I don't like to get in the minute details, but imagine a product that allows you to set the temperature, and once it's set, it keeps it running at that set temperature all the way through the cook. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. This is real life. You can take advantage of this technology today. Patrick, have you ever seen a BBQ Guru in a competition?
Have I? Yes, but can I just say something about BBQ Guru?
Yes.
If you are into competition barbecue, or if you just like nice toys, their stainless steel aluminum foil container is a godsend piece of equipment in my trailer, and it literally it's expensive. It's like $80. It is worth every penny. And get it.
Really? The aluminum foil dispenser?
There are other brands, and there are other brands. The aluminum foil dispenser, it's a stainless steel box, and it is. It's just, it's very important. They did it right, and it's just a stainless steel box, but it's just the feet on it are quality, and it doesn't slide around, and it's just well built, and it gets beat up. And I have a foil fetish, and it is everything gets foiled in my cook site. We do not do dishes on site.
Duly noted. All right, so take a look at the box. If you're a busy working professional, if you are constantly on the run with kids doing errands, and you don't have time to set around in 10 pit temperatures, use the BBQ Guru. Allows you to throw a pork butt or a brisket, a couple slabs of ribs on. You can often do whatever you need to get done. The Guru maintains that pit temperature you set it at. Number of different models to choose from. Some of the most popular CyberQ Wi-Fi raging across competition scenes and backyards. Obviously the Party Q, easiest point of entry into automatic pit temperature control devicedom for about $149. The new look Party Q. Onyx Oven, if you're looking for a cooker, do yourself a favor. Head on over to thebbqguru.com and check out their products. If you have any questions about what to order, call them directly, 800-288-GURU, and they'll make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. 800-288-GURU or thebbqguru.com. BBQ Guru is a breakthrough in barbecue technology. We are back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Bobby Rimpey from Cleveland, Ohio, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rimpey.
All right, we are wrapping it up here. Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team in studio.
I'm an outlaw.
Do you need 2 shots or 3 shots?
I ran out of my lifetime supply at about 32 years old.
There you go. Had your fill. Thank you very much.
And society is better that I stopped.
Patrick, do you have a website that you can tell people about if they want to check you out or not?
I actually do not know. We do stuff just through my Facebook
You think
page.
the internet's a fad? Is that what it is?
Not at all. No. Oh, hold on. I own a bunch of websites, but not a barbecue website.
So you just do everything through the Facebooks?
Yes.
Is it like / Basic BBQ Team?
No,
or?
Patrick Paquette.
All right.
It's
So
just
personal account.
No, I'll say this. So next year, we may take this up another level next year with as far as having more of a social media presence under the team name, but it's not. We've sort of been building this from the cooking point of view first. It was. Once again, like I'm not looking to be a caterer or open a restaurant. Like that's not what I'm in this for. I like it. This is about the competition and the camaraderie and the fun of it. And
so it is. I appreciate you coming in tonight.
I appreciate you having me, and I actually appreciate the show. Period.
Really?
Absolutely. This is fun, and it's fun on every Tuesday night.
Well, hopefully, you enjoyed seeing it in a different way tonight.
Absolutely.
All the way back in the first hour, we had former NFLer, tight end for the Atlanta Falcons and Cincinnati Bengals, Reggie Kelly, talking about Kyvan Foods, Kyvan82.com, the website, at Kyvan82, his Twitter. Hit him up. He'll friend you. Hell, he'll do your internet show for crying out loud. What? There's an NFL guy that did an internet show. What? Then the second hour, we had Sterling Ball. A little bit of a rejoin after the unfortunate internet events. And, of course, all show heading down to the Bentonville, Arkansas Sam's Club National Finals. Patrick Paquette from the Basic BBQ Team. Appreciate you sitting in tonight, buddy. Good luck. We know you're going to win. It's just a matter of by how big.
Hey, well, hold on. One of us from the New England Barbecue Society, we've got 3 of our regular teams going down.
Yep.
We talk about #Nebs Mafia. I have lots. We know 10 teams that are competing. We're just hoping to put our food in the box, but it's like the home team. It's all about New England Barbecue Society doing well this weekend.
2 things before I let everybody go. If you have raw cast iron it, like I tell you each and every week, re-season it each and every time. Hit it with a grill brush once you're done cooking on it. It starts to cool down. I like to get mine with a little Pam. You can also use Crisco if you want. Let it burn back in. Little generations of rust-free service will follow if you just do that simple little step. Also, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for pitmaster of the Basic BBQ Team, Patrick Paquette, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.